Welcome back, fourth graders. Mrs. Lawson here. I can't believe we made it through another story. We are just trucking along and we are starting a new story today, and it is called Movers and Shapers. What in the world? So let's figure out. We're on lesson 9, and this is what the cover is: Movers and Shapers. Wonder what we're learning about today. So our learning intention is, well, we're learning to analyze the main idea and key details in the text to help us create a summary. So we know we are successful when we can identify the main idea of the text, identify the key details that support that main idea, and then we can use that to create a summary. So again, we're going to use this to organize our thoughts first and then make that into a summary. Our foundational skill. Today we are working with synonyms and antonyms. So antonyms, it means the opposite. Synonyms mean the same. So the first thing they want us to do in this sentence is find what is a synonym for scans. So special scans can detect if the bones of a living person are diseased. This picture shows a healthy skeleton. Did you guys figure it out? Yes, it is. Scans and pictures are actually synonyms. Now, can you find a pair of antonyms in the sentence? So two words that mean different things. So special scans can detect if the bones of a living person are diseased. This picture shows a healthy skeleton. So this is the first word. What means the opposite of diseased? Good job. You're right. It is healthy. If you have a disease, you're not healthy. So those are opposites. Great job. Now, for your practice today, you will be identifying whether these pairs of words are synonyms or antonyms. Then you're going to try and use them in a sentence to demonstrate their meaning. So just like just like the author put these words that are opposite meanings and the same into sentences, you have to do the same thing with these words. You guys got this. I can't wait to see what you come up with. All right, so for vocabulary today, the one word I want you to focus on is rigid. So this person is standing in a rigid posture. Look at how they're standing. And although bones are hard and rigid, they can grow and change their shape. So what could rigid mean? So rigid means you're unable to bend or forced out of shape. You can't move. So if you're in a really rigid thing, you're like stuck, you're stiff. So that is what rigid means. So I'm so excited to start this with you just by looking at this page. What kind of story or what genre do you think this is? Is it fiction or is it nonfiction? Yes, great job. What gave away that this is a nonfiction text? Yeah, we've got those headings again, and we've got a lot of pictures. And as we read, let's see what new things we're going to learn. All right, movement and support. Imagine your body without any bones. We've done that. You would be floppy and unable to move. The bones form a skeleton or framework that supports the body and protects the internal organs. Muscles cover the bones. Together, they give the body its shape and allows you to move. So let's read some of these captions. This diver is about to launch herself into the air. Her body is supported by the bones that make up the skeleton. Hundreds of muscles work together to move this diver's body. You need to use more than 60 muscles and bones in each hand and arm just to lift a glass. So pulling power. In order to make a movement, the muscles and bones must work together as a team. When muscles contract or get shorter, So that's another synonym. So it's saying if you don't know what contract means, it means to get shorter. They pull on the bones. This makes different parts of the body change position. Most movements are controlled by the brain. No rest. Oh, we got a stop sign. So how do the headings on these two pages, so this page and this page, the blue pages, help your understanding of the text? So we're going to keep looking. Your muscles and bones never stop working. Even when you are standing still, they are busy holding the body in the same position. And all day and night, the muscles and bones in your rib cage move in order to help you breathe. Guard duty. Bones and muscles also have the important job of protecting the organs inside your body. The skull forms a hard cage around the brain. Your ribs shield, and I put this shield like Captain America just so you could get a visual. Your ribs shield the heart and lungs, and the bones and muscles of the pelvis protect the bladder and reproductive organs. So this picture, called a CAT scan, shows the inside of a person's head. The bones of the skull protect the brain. The left-hand side of the brain is not shown in this scan. During a dive, the muscles pull on the bones. This makes the body bend or straighten. Info lab. A bone is stronger than a steel bar that is the same weight. More than half of the bones in your body are found in your hands and feet. Muscles are grouped in pairs. Muscles make up about half of the weight of your body. Kind of crazy. So if we look back, we realize that on the headings, it's helping us understand something. So let's look. We know that the main idea is movement and support. Well, what helps us move and what supports us? Our skeleton, right? So all of these headings are helping us remember those three important jobs of the skeleton. Do you remember them all? The first one had to do with, think of the helmet. Yeah, guarding, right? So it's protecting your organs. So that's the first one. The second one, I would always be like, lose your skeleton. And what would happen? Yeah, it would. It supports you. It keeps you standing up. And the third one's down here. It helps us move. So those headings help us remember the three main jobs of the skeleton. Bony framework. The skeleton is made up of bones of all shapes and sizes. Arm and leg bones are long and thin, while hand bones are small and rounded. Although bones are hard and rigid, there's that word, they can grow and change their shape. So inside a bone, the surface of each bone is covered with a thin layer containing blood vessels and nerves. Underneath is hard bone called compact bone. This forms a shell around a layer of light but very strong spongy bone. So let's look at some of these captions. The human body has 206 bones. These are joined together to form the skeleton. So it gives you more details on what each bone is called, and you can look for that yourself. You can pause it and investigate. Long bones, such as the femur or thigh bone, are filled with marrow. The blood vessels provide bone cells with food and oxygen. Compact bone is found on the outside of most bones. It is made of very strong tubes that are fused together. Let's go ahead. Bone marrow. Spongy bone is packed with jelly-like red bone marrow. So I can see the red. This is where blood cells are made. As a child grows into an adult, the red bone marrow in long bones is replaced by yellow bone marrow, which stores fat. Getting it right. Over time, bones can change their shape because they are made of millions of living cells. This is why it is very important to have your feet measured when you buy shoes. Shoes that are too tight can damage the bones of your feet. So up here it says, the shape of the skeleton helps the body balance upright, leaving the hands free. Bones in the feet make a wide base. The pelvis formed from the hip bones, so right here, supports the upper body. So this feet keeps us balanced, and this pelvis right here supports the upper body. Special scans can detect if the bones of a living person are diseased. This picture shows a healthy skeleton. Pretty cool. Oh, I'm over here. Wow. Miss Lawson, say, yeah, not paying attention to the arrows. So this shows a healthy, oh, I was right. This shows a healthy skeleton. So this one down here, spongy bone is not solid. It's made up of a network of bony struts. The spaces are filled with bone marrow. Infolab. At birth, babies have more than 300 bones. Adults have 206 bones. Many of the bones you are born with fuse together as you grow older, so they kind of come together and form just one bone. The joints, we learned about this in our other book, right? Wherever two or more bones meet, you will find a joint. In some joints, the bones are fixed tightly together. In others, the bones can move freely, allowing different parts of the body to bend or twist. Without this flexibility, it would be almost impossible for you to move. Smooth operators. Joints have to work smoothly in order to prevent wear and tear. In joints like the knee, the bones ends have a slippery coating called cartilage. A fluid in between the layers of cartilage stops the bones from rubbing together. So, down here. Joints and other parts of the body can be examined with a special instrument called an endoscope. Over here, this picture was taken with an endoscope. It shows the cartilage inside a knee joint. Down here, two bones meet at the knee, forming a joint. Fluid in this space between the cartilage helps the joints work smoothly, right here. And this is some cool stuff. All right, so that is all. Oh, did I skip? Yep, that is not all we're reading. That was like, I feel like there's more. Chain of bones. Your spine is often called the backbone, but if it was just one stiff bone, you would be unable to bend over. Instead, it is made up of many vertebrae, or small bones, with narrow joints in between each one of them. The joints between each vertebrae of the spine can move slightly apart, so they're kind of moving. Dislocation. Bones are held very tightly in place at each joint by tough bands called ligaments. If a bone is knocked hard enough, it may move out of place. This is called a dislocation, and the joint will not bend correctly until the bone is put back into the right place. So that kind of goes along with this picture. This x-ray shows a dislocated knuckle or finger joint. You can see how the two bones have been pushed apart. So this should be laying on here and it's pushed off. The body contains more than 400 joints. Most allow a wide range of movements. The ligaments that hold the hip joints together are very strong, so it rarely dislocates. If you twist your ankle suddenly, you may tear and stretch the ligaments in the ankle joints. This is known as a sprained ankle. So let's go back and go ahead and draw your main idea and key details chart. So you're gonna have it's gonna look like this. You're gonna have your main idea and your 3 key details. Go ahead and pause the video if you need some time to draw this. We are gonna be focusing on this paragraph down here. Pulling power. So that is our main idea because the heading gives that to us. So go ahead and put that as your main idea. Now, we're going to look and figure out what are the key details. So in order to make a movement, the muscles and bones must work together as a team. To me, that feels important. So in order for our body to move, we know that the muscles and the bones, they have to work together. So that's how movement happens in our body. So pause the video here if you need some more time. We're going to pop back to this page and just see what else they say. When muscles contract or get shorter, they pull on the bones. This makes different parts of your body change position. So I kind of feel like those go together. So for my arm to move, this muscle, if we feel it, it's contracting, it's pulling this bone to move it. So your muscles pull on the bone and it makes your body change positions. So that would be our next key detail. Then if we go back, our last key detail, most movements are controlled by what? What has to tell our body to move? And we don't even probably realize it. Our brain. So most of the movements in our body are actually controlled by our brain. So go ahead and pause it here if you need some more time. Now, the cool thing that we're moving on to today is now you could take this to create a summary. So you could say that you would start your paragraph by saying, the skeleton, one of the main jobs of the skeleton is to move the body. And then you would just go on and explain how that happens. So we could take our page and turn it into our own summary. Your turn, reading response. So you're going to go back on page 16 and you're going to use the diagram to describe the 3 layers of bone. How does the visual help you better understand the main idea of these pages? So we're going to go back. It's saying this diagram right here, how does it help you figure out those 3 layers of bone? And then how does it help you figure out what the main idea is for the whole page? So on Seesaw, that page is included, so you can look back for those details. And good luck, work hard. You guys are doing a great job, and have a great rest of your day. Bye, 4th graders.